Today is the 26th of February 2026 and it's what day is it? Thursday. Dog you hear barking in the background is, I think, the new friend of Brad, Melanoir. I do dread the day I run into both of those. Anyway, today is the 26th and I had my stitches removed. I drove myself to Manosque this morning, set off at 8:15. Had the appointment at 9:15 and everything was fine, except as I drove in to the parking area in Manosque, I was driving down a one-way street, and there's two lanes, and when you get to the end of the street it merges into one lane, and there's a concrete step across the right-hand lane to get you to move to the left. And I saw it at the very last second. I almost smashed my car into this concrete step, but I managed to just kind of swerve into the other lane. It was very foggy as well. But I got there and I got to the car park, and I didn't have much trouble getting in and out of the car park. And I am now kind of free from all the dental stuff till April the 14th, which is quite a while, just for a checkup. It is a beautiful day today. It was one of those days that started off really, really foggy, but then the fog lifts and it just seems to make everything crisp. It's not cold either. And I'm walking Tuco because I think Flo walked him this morning, but she has her own classes and she only walked him for a small bit, I think. It'll soon be March and we're going to be heading back into spring and the summer. And it'll be unusual for me, I think, because I was doing something last year. I had my routine since the end of February of going to the French class kind of every day, every weekday. But it may well be that this year I don't have that. I did go to Manosque the day before yesterday, and I gave some CVs out. I gave one to Burger King, but to be honest, I didn't give any others out. Because I went to McDonald's and I just looked around and I looked inside the counter and I looked at the machines and the people, and I just thought, I can't see myself being here. I should have, because you never know by just looking at something. And I will apply online for that job and for Lidl. I just chickened out kind of at the last minute. I went to the Farfouille, I don't know how you pronounce it, and I looked at all the crap they're selling in that place. And it just struck me, God, you could spend a morning here where you're kind of packing the shelves with all kinds of your shit. And the same thing, I just had this kind of repulsion. I just kept thinking, would you like to be stuck here where you're kind of packing the shelves with picture frames? And I started to get kind of claustrophobic in the shop, and I thought, I don't even want to stay here as a customer. Why do I think I'd be happy here working for 8 hours a day? And I kind of ran away with my CV and covering letter in hand. Didn't give them to anyone. right beside the Farfois, I found this just, it was like an English type bar in all but name. It was like this oasis. And I went in and it was completely empty. But it had this very welcoming look. It was kind of like the Boat Club, something like that. You know, it's obviously a place where they have concerts and things. So it's kind of a little rough and ready, but it was empty in the morning, so. And the music really started speaking to me. It was all in English. It was kind of melancholy, kind of almost like country songs. So I had a drink there. And for a few moments, I was transported back to, I don't know, the Rose and Crown or the West End or something. I just sat there and I thought, God, I could stay here all day, just listening to the music, you know. Of course I couldn't, so I left, and I walked all the way down to where my dentist is. And then I came back and drove home. I will apply to some of these places online, I guess. And then yesterday I went to Catty to have my hair done. And I had a drink on the way there, you know. And it was absolutely perfect. I realised you need to be just a little bit fucking merry to be in the same wavelength as her. And we had this great conversation. And strangely, for the first time, I felt I was talking away to her, and I think we were understanding each other. And there was not, maybe this was because I was a tiny bit kind of merry, you know, but I wasn't thinking of the language this time. I was just communicating. And we spoke about her and her health problems and her relationships and her problems when she was young. I just spoke about my situation, problems and looking for a job, and we kind of flirted a bit, or I did, talking about sex. She showed me some pictures Thierry had taken, not of her, but of an ex-girlfriend or something. And she did a pretty good job of my hair. And then I sent her some information about Dionysian artists. She was quite curious about that. She isn't really someone I'd like to be too involved in. She's kind of too intense, but it's just worth pointing out that I had a conversation with someone and the language almost disappeared. It just didn't seem to be an issue. So that was yesterday. So it's kind of been a fairly eventful week. We're seeing Stephen Katz today. What comes next? And then I've got, I think kind of the 7th or something of March, I've got another eye injection in Merite. The other thing to say is that I've found this little niche in terms of YouTube videos. I've gone back to The Birth of Tragedy, kind of listening to an audiobook. And I realized that, wow, it really spills over into movies, and you can kind of ask Gemini to express some views on the Apollonian Dionysian elements in movies. You pick a movie. I've done a video about John Wayne and Sam Peckinpah, and one about Unforgiven, and the one I did about Unforgiven got 43 views, which made me quite happy. It's not that many views, but it's enough for me. It's better than 5 or 6, you know. So I'm going to do another one about Steve McQueen Bullet. You can really type in Apollo Dionysus and you can pretty much do a short 5-minute video on any movie. But you get to put the thumbnail and something a little enigmatic. And I'm going to do another one. I hope and Once Upon a Time in the West I want to do, because that apparently is like, it's just got so many elements, and it's got the music as well. The river is looking very healthy. Allez, Chugo, let's go back. Let's go back and I give you a biscuit. You had a nice second walk. Huh? It really is a lovely morning. The coldness is gone now. And what I was saying earlier, I was kind of thinking it'd be nice to enjoy the spring with a kind of a clear mind, you know, a clear heart, where you weren't, because I think I'm saying this because of the kind of trauma of just thinking endlessly about my 2 front teeth operation that is now, thank the Lord, in the past. It's finished and things seem to be going well, and there's just the thought, wouldn't it be, I know Nietzsche talks about this, there's a Dionysian element in the spring. There's some increase in the energy, there's a rebirth in the air. People make resolutions and things Christmas, but you'd be better off to make resolutions and plans in March, I think, because that's when there's that kind of energy. But to be able to enjoy it all without any, without any stress, it's kind of that sense of when I had my holidays in the academy. When you get finished, you do your last exam, and whatever it is, the end of May, I think it used to be, or something. I'm going to pause because I got someone coming. Okay, I'm back. We just ran into Ozana and not Patris, but the girlfriend. Tuko! No, Ozana, not you. Allez, Tuko. Ozana, allez. What's going on now? Okay, I'm going to call this one here because for some reason Ozana is coming with us. And she's looking at something. I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried she's seeing some other dogs here or something. That's me. Paranoid. So I'm gonna stop this one. I think that gives you an idea of where things are at the moment. Just to finish by saying I wish I could go through this spring and summer and just not have to worry about anything and have nothing, no medical issues and no work issues, and just kind of enjoy the fantasticness of the spring in Provence. Adios.